Welcome to Faces of Fleet, an interview series from Work Truck, where we take a more personal look at the many interesting people in Fleet and some of the experiences that help shape them into who they are today. Before we get started, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss an episode. I'm Lauren Fletcher, Vice President of Content at Bobbit, and today I'm chatting with Judie Nuskey, Director of Operations at ADTS. Judie has built an impressive career dedicated to fleet safety, combining passion and innovation to make a lasting impact in the industry. With experience leading operations and founding the network of women focused on driver safety, she's continually pushing the boundaries of what's possible in fleet management. After chatting with Judie, I discovered her journey also includes the unexpected path of bartending and returning to college at 52, earning straight A's along the way. I couldn't wait to dive deeper into her story and learn about how these diverse experiences have shaped her leadership, commitment to safety, and approach to this ever-evolving industry.
For this month's Fleet News, we have one more recommendation for you. That's because Dave Slade, Chevron's chief technologist, sat down with FreightWaves to talk about the lower carbon journeys of their fleet customers. It's a great conversation with insights into today's solutions and tomorrow's targets. You can find the full episode in the resources at regi.com.
Judie, welcome.
Thank you so much, Lauren, for having me. I'm very, very appreciative. So let's see what we got to go on this journey.
So why don't you start with sharing just a little bit about yourself?
Okay, yes. As you said, I'm Director of Operations for Advanced Driver Training Services. Our company has been in business this will be our 42nd year. It's all based on driver safety, which we are a niche in the industry, and we've really, evolved through the years, which has been very exciting. I've been with them since 2017, starting out doing all of their accounting, which is honestly the career that I have always been in, has been in accounting and finance. COVID, as you'll learn throughout the interview, was really a game changer in some of the decisions that I fostered throughout my career. So that's kind of where I went, and let me just change it up, change up the industry. And that's where I am today.
So as my intro noted, you've really built an impressive career in fleet safety. What first sparked your interest in this field, and how did you find your way into it?
So in our company, we were formed by a police officer and an EMT many years ago. And that police officer actually worked with my father. So when I was changing jobs and kind of what I was doing, I went and worked for ADTS. And the respect that I had for the instructors in everything they did in teaching this program started making me kind of lean towards this is something that I may want to be a part of. Not just the accounting aspect, but more of, let me see what they're doing. How can I spread the word? How can I bring in some revenue to the company? And how can we expand on the program? So I was really taken aback when COVID hit. I think what I did for COVID with the PPP funds and my background in finance, we had to plug away when we hibernated. We hibernated not only the company that we had in the US, but the divisions and the provinces we had in Canada. So I think really what happened was my manager kind of saw what I was doing, and he's the one who sat me down and he said, I really feel that this could be something with you, and if you would step into the role of a director for us, let's see what we can do in the fleet industry and how we can rebrand the company.
So you founded the network of women focused on driver safety. I know I've posted a few times in your social group. What has inspired you to create this group, and how's it grown since its launch?
So I have to tell you, honestly, WIFM, part of AFLA, in this industry, it is the very first organization, the Women in Fleet Management, one of the first things that I joined. And what I learned in that and what they did, and it's not just women related, there were a lot of men involved in what they were promoting. I kind of took that and I was like, I think we should do something regarding safety. So with the network of women, that we unite women from all walks of life who are passionate about enhancing driver safety. We have a goal, and that is to empower women by providing this platform where then they can network and share resources and support each other. And we foster a safer driving environment. One of the most important, I love the women in trucking. So call me, please, women in trucking, because I have watched throughout the years that organization grow. And I'll never have the membership that they have. But one of the things that I just promoted on my LinkedIn page was their Women Behind the Wheel for 2025. That's where my network is going to be interacting with other networks like this women in trucking. So I feel that now, as a safety advocate in this fleet industry, we're just sharing. We're sharing everything. Mine just happens to be with safety.
And, that leads perfectly into my next question. Safety is at the heart of your work. What's one of the biggest challenges that you see in driver safety today, and how are you approaching solving it?
What's amazing about this question is challenges. It's like a 360. This is what we say to potential clients. What are your challenges? And it's so interesting to have somebody ask me, what are my challenges for driver safety? Number one is the distracted driving epidemic. It is an epidemic, but I can't call out just cell phone usage. Cell phone usage is a big component because it's a very high out-of-pocket expense for a company when drivers are in crashes due to distracted driving from the cell phone usage. You have a lack of consistent training and reinforcement. You have the human element, which is the behavior and the culture. And we have to learn the driving behavior of today's drivers. We have new hires. We have new drivers that haven't been on the road for a significant amount of time. It's not just about policy. It's also about the culture. The technology without proper implementation. I can't tell you how many fleet managers are telling me, I have this data. I don't know what to do with this data. It's telling me I have 21 people that were speeding. Okay, I can send them a 5-minute coaching video, but tomorrow they're going to go and do the same thing again. So love it with the driver education and the safety and the one-on-one. These are things that, we want to help, get that message across. Legal and liability risks, the fleet managers, they got to navigate the increasing litigation and liability exposure, especially with the rising crash costs and the nuclear verdicts. So I think there's those challenges, but how do we approach to solve these challenges? So you're going to shift from compliance to a proactive safety culture. Then you're going to have your behavior-based coaching and your reinforcement. You're going to leverage your technology effectively. You're going to learn, the fleet managers are going to learn what to do with that technology, from the in-cab cameras to the telematics. And then you're going to you're going to bridge that gap between the policy and the real world application. We're going to learn how those new drivers, what their way of learning is. And let's take their way of learning and let's simulate that into some kind of training. And then you're going to build a community for change. And once we have all of that, we'll have 10 other things in the future on how we're gonna look at safety.
And I think that really works towards making a lasting impact instead of, as you noted, they're going to go right back to that the next day. How do we make sure that they really believe and understand in the value of making these changes? And as you noted, it's the culture that's surrounding the business and the fleet that does that.
I agree. One of the terms that we use is muscle memory. And we use muscle memory in a lot of things that we all do, regardless if it's just safety, but everything that we do. And some of that, if we can get that muscle memory down where, every day you put your seatbelt on because you know that you want to get from point A to point B safely. We just don't do it just for work. We're going to do it in our own personal lives as well. And if we can kind of incorporate some of that into our way of thinking for when we're driving a company vehicle, I think then we're getting where we kind of need to be.
So, taking this a little more personal, as I noted in the intro, you mentioned that bartending was an unexpected source of personal growth for you. What kind of drew you to that, and how did it impact your approach to leadership and fleet safety?
I have a feeling that I am not the only one that works from home. And after COVID, and we sold our brick and mortar building, all of my instructors are all across the country. Most of our admins are here where I live in Pennsylvania. So working from home, it has its advantages and its disadvantages. And I felt I was missing out on the socialization aspect. So, I was drawn to the bartending again because of working home. It's difficult to stay focused. And I found myself missing that social interaction. And it gave me the opportunity to engage with people, think on my feet, manage high pressure situations, like, do you want house vodka or Tito's in your drink? But then all those skills kind of translated directly into my leadership approach and working in fleet safety. So, like behind the bar, I learned how quickly to assess the situations. Like I'm in a clubhouse and the golfers are coming off the golf course, and most of the time, maybe they've had a good game. Sometimes they've had a bad game. But one of the most important parts in any kind of industry, regardless what you do, is give them a smile. I hope to God I know their first name, and maybe just have a conversation with them. And then I can take that real life situation and interpret that and bring that into the fleet world, because now I have the tools to respond proactively. I've created an environment where people are going to feel and they're heard and they're valued. And then ultimately, bartending kind of reinforced the importance of staying engaged. I fostered strong connections. I maintained a calm, solution-oriented mindset. But I think what else is, not only did I want to hear from the people behind that I was speaking to, the customers, they wanted to learn more about me and what it is that I do. And, that kind of really boosts your morale because they're getting excited about what I'm doing as well. So I really found that these qualities were very essential in both the leadership and the fleet safety. And I love doing it. I honestly love doing it.
So I want to brag about you for a second. You went back to college at 52 and earned straight A's. That is the most incredible accomplishment. What motivated you to take that step? And what did you learn about yourself through that process?
I believe that everybody closer to the age of 50, there are sometimes that we say to ourselves, I wonder if. And I had been doing accounting for a very long time. And I kind of said to myself, is this what I want to do for the last 10 or 15 years of my career? And I thought, let me just see what else I can learn, and maybe make a decision of maybe I do want to do something else. So I had graduated from Westchester University many years ago with a degree in accounting. And I went back and spoke to the administrator and my advisor. And I decided that I was going to go for a degree in communications. And it was right after COVID, which I found very interesting because I thought I would be virtual learning. And boy, was I mistaken when I went back with today's youth right after the COVID epidemic. And I was real time in the classroom. I took my work. Another big part of going back to school is I had a very understanding employer. And I asked if I could take an 8 a.m. class instead of doing all night classes. And they were very supportive. And when they stood behind me, I knew it was going to be a little bit easier. And some of the classes were difficult. A lot of it was public speaking. One of the things that I definitely have to, bring to awareness was where some of the classes, we started out with 30 people in the class. By the end of the semester, there were some classes we were down to maybe 15 or 20. And I found that very interesting. But I'm very proud of what I did. Graduated with, yes, honors. And I even chose to walk with the graduating class. So I was a part of the graduation ceremony as well.
As director of operations, you had to shift your mindset to keep ADTS evolving. Can you share a time when you had to think outside the box and bring innovation to your company?
I definitely can. And it's still going to be innovating to the company. And we when we hibernated, I decided to get a GSA contract for the company because I truly believe that state, local, and federal, just like our industry for fleet, there's Fed Fleet, there's agencies in, these states, their drivers need training as well. So the time that I took, learning curve, knowing what I was doing, making mistakes, we successfully got a GSA contract, and then now you have to go with it. Now you have to learn, how am I going to bid on send my requests in on what they're looking for. And one of the issues I had with that one was I thought that most of my requests for a proposal were going to come from the Department of Transportation. So that's what I was focusing on when I was getting these requests. And I was like, oh, okay, nothing from them. And then I saw one come through from what they called WAPA, which I didn't even know what WAPA was. And that was the Department of Energy. And they were looking to train all of their drivers in 3 substations in California. So I'm still looking right here at my office. Our very first signed contract was from WAPA, and us doing all of their training in California. So that was definitely something that I think that even my instructors were like, this is amazing. And with them standing behind me, that really is what made it a successful part of our business.
You're also a frequent contributor to one of our sister publications, Automotive Fleet, and a speaker at many of our industry events. What message or advice do you find yourself sharing the most often with our fleet professionals?
First, I really want to thank Automotive Fleet, and I really want to thank Chris Brown. And the message that I can already tell you is I reached out to Chris when I saw the safety content coming from Automotive Fleet. Amazing safety content. And I wanted to be a part of it. So I just said to Chris, I said, can I send you an article or two? I'm not the best writer, but heck, I just went and got this college degree. Maybe there is something that I can contribute. And I'm so appreciative that he listened to me and took me up on that offer. And I get so much value every time I see something that I have contributed. But it's not just me that contributed it. It's the employees of our company. They are the subject matter experts. I take what they tell me and then I just put it into the article to bring knowledge to the people in our industry. The conferences, again, I got to think outside the box for the sessions of these conferences. And this past November, we did, it was a crash reconstruction with hopefully having a mock trial. But 40 minutes into the presentation, we did such a good job on the crash reconstruction part that we had only gotten through 4 slides and we still had the rest of the presentation. So I hope that the people that attend these sessions, they really are getting the value of them. The other thing is, if I had to ask and give advice to other people, take that chance and just ask somebody, are you interested in this? And you can it'll either be accepted, and even if you get denied, just go to somebody else.
With that advice, what's another piece of advice that you might give to others in fleet world who might be looking for their own something extra outside of work that challenges them and helps them grow?
Part of WIFM, they have that mentorship program, and I'm actually glad where I was the mentee, I am now a mentor to some individuals. And one of the ones that I have, I still believe that social media, especially in what we do, LinkedIn is a great communication tool. But if you don't post enough, maybe once a week, first of all, you would have never known that I did bartending until I wrote that nice little post of, hey, fun fact about myself. So how am I supposed to know who I'm meeting at these conferences when it would be really good if they just told me something personal about themselves? It doesn't have to be like life altering, but if I knew you were part of an organization, I could use that in my conversation with you, and it kind of opens the door for me to step in. So yeah, I hope other people will share information about themselves.
I love it. And bringing it right back around to Fleet, what's your favorite part of being involved in this industry?
I can definitely tell you my favorite part is the unique blend of collaboration, continuous learning, and the real impact we can make on driver safety. Fleet safety isn't just about numbers or policies. It's about building the strong partnerships that create lasting change. I love working alongside dedicated professionals. They share the same passion for protecting the lives on the road. The most important safety feature in the vehicle is the driver. The industry's the work hard, play hard mentality, it keeps things dynamic. Every day presents new challenges and opportunities to innovate through organizations like AFLA and the Women in Fleet, and now hopefully the network that I've created. We're going to be able to build meaningful connections. We're going to gain valuable insights. We're going to help drive forward initiatives that genuinely make a difference. It's not just what I do regarding driver safety training. It's just everything that is a package deal that comes with the industry. And partnerships, I think, is where we're all going to benefit from.
Judie, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today and share a little bit about your passion and your personal story.
Absolutely. And, when we first spoke, I said, I'm not going to put my quirkiness in there, but, I'm sorry. I didn't, do anything Star Wars oriented, but I figured, the questions that you posed to me were great. And again, I'm just so thankful for the opportunity.
Well, I can always say, may the force be with you, Judie. And for anybody else who's looking forward to some more episodes of Faces or Fleet and maybe wants to share a little bit about themselves, like Judie suggested earlier, check out the link below and reach out. As always, thanks for tuning in. Hit that like button and comment below to let me know who I should be chatting with next. And be on the lookout for more episodes of Truck Chat coming soon, where I'll continue to focus on the people and the issues that matter most to work truck fleets.